Our next YouTuber is one that I have actually met, Simon Miller.
That's right, my friends. Around about a month or so ago, or sometime in the past, it was definitely in 2025, Maven reviewed a bunch of YouTuber turned pro wrestler matches, and one of them was mine. As you can imagine, I freaked out when someone told me about this, but of course I went to watch it, so what I thought I would do, in true YouTube fashion, is Maven react to one of my matches, so now I'm going to react to Maven before we do want to get into it. I just want to thank Maven for doing that. It's super cool to see yourself featured in that kind of way, and as Maven also mentioned on his channel, we have talked before, I've done a couple of interviews, he's such a good dude, and seeing the success he has made on YouTube, I just think it's wonderful, and you can tell that he's inspired others as well, which is super duper cool. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to give you my thoughts, although I'll be completely honest with you, Maven is mostly right.
I've been a fan of Simon's content for years.
So right away, it's just so cool for someone like Maven to say they're a fan of my content. I'll be honest with you, it is my 10-year anniversary soon of making wrestling content on the internet, which is crazy. I'm still amazed that anybody watches. So to know that Maven does, thumbs.
My first recommendation for Simon would be for someone to introduce him to the sun.
So Maven is 100% right. I nude in a tan. I'm like so whiter than a sheet there. Now I actually responded to Maven's video and he was very kind about me. Again, this is just me giving you my take on everything. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong or anything like that. I do 99% of the time get a tan when I do wrestle because again, it just makes you look better, especially when you're under bright lights. But this was during a very cool tour I did of Canada where I can't remember the exact details, but I flew in on a Wednesday and I wrestled Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I flew home on Monday. And I just forgot to bring my, self-tanning stuff that I put on. I couldn't find any in a local grocery store or a local supermarket. So I was like, well, that was dumb. That's all there is to it. However, Maven is right, like I do say, tanning in wrestling just looks better. There was a time when I didn't do it when I first broke in, and then as soon as I did start doing it, and not only, again, does it look better on camera, but people started to go, oh, Simon, you look like you've got in good shape, because that's the magic of a tan. So from now on, tan.
The bold YouTube guy!
I now know that Josh Bishop is the heel because he's making fun of Simon for being the bald YouTube guy. I'm gonna have to check with our attorney. Is there any trademark infringements that he?
It's a good point. There are a lot of bald YouTube guys at the moment, but in terms of sort of YouTube OG-ness, I feel like I'm number one, but I'll share it with Maven because again, Maven's a very good dude.
But Simon Miller, he is up for the challenge of trying to figure out the man that is Joshua Bishop. Oh, my goodness.
Simon gave Bishop a chop. The moment he gave him the chop, the big man stopped selling. And he started walking with a purpose, with intensity, with a little bit of what I would think was maybe a tiny bit of anger. And he gave him his receipt back. Maybe he just didn't have chops on his list of okayed moves that he was going to take for that night.
Now, I can't remember what Josh and I spoke about before that, although I do want to give a shout out to Josh Bishop, who is an awesome human being. What a lovely dude. I had real fun working with him. Again, I am going to use this not as an excuse. I'm just trying to give you where my head is at because, again, I don't disagree with anything Maven's going to talk about. I mean, I don't remember those specifics, but I was super jet lagged on this tour, like more jet lagged than usual, because I flew in on whatever day it was, and I flew on, I think it was flew on the Thursday. I had a match that night, and again, what a blessed position to be in. And then on the Monday, they were like, oh, call time for the drive is like 8 a.m. in the morning. I was like, what do you mean 8 a.m. in the morning for C4? I didn't realize it was 5-hour drive away. So it's 5 hours there and 5 hours back. I mean, talk about being a proper professional wrestler. But I mean, I do think it affected my performance a little bit. But once again, you cannot use that because that is, like I say, that is what being a wrestler is. So if you're not used to it, get used to it as fast as you can because you have to take the most of these opportunities. But it does mean my brain's a bit scattered when I do go back to it. I would imagine that Josh was up for anything because he was very open to stuff. And I think it's a pretty good chop. But that sort of comes from the fact that I have done chops in the past that were awful. And there's nothing worse, you know, when you go to give someone a big chop and you get this noise. It's just like, oh man, you want this. That's the best thing. Although believe you me, what I do remember is how hard he chopped me and more power to him.
Getting hit by Bill J. Lee. Simon Miller is going to want to watch out for that door.
That's a good little hope spot. Simon fought out, hit the ropes like he was trying to do something. And Bishop, good, solid heel work. gave him an elbow to cut him off. Again, that's just wrestling 101. Good. I don't know if Bishop called a hope spot there or if Simon just did it, but good stuff. Good stuff.
So that's very heartwarming to hear. Again, I can't remember the specifics of that one either, but it is something that I have been working on. I die a lot as a babyface, and what that means is that you are getting beaten up, and the crowd just need a little bit of something to know you are still alive. And as you've just seen there, it's called a hope spot, and the traditional one is, you know, hit someone in the stomach, hit the ropes and get taken down. There's every chance that Josh called that to me because, again, it's something I have been working on for the past few months, because sometimes I want to oversell for my opponents. At least that's how it's been described to me. Because if the babyface is down too much and there's no action, or it feels like, oh, they're already dead, then you can't get behind them. And of course, the whole point of professional wrestling is to make sure you keep the crowd up. So to hear that from Maven, it's good for my brain, because something I think I am very good at, and I'm not very good at talking about myself in these terms, I'm very coachable. So if you tell me something, 9 times out of 10, the next time I go into a match, I will do it, and then it will sink in, and then I'll start to do it naturally.
Low slam.
Got him by a little bit by surprise.
They're taking it home, meaning they're going to the finish of the match now. Your heel, Joshua Bishop, is bumping and feeding for Simon. Just one last gasp to get the fans up, thinking Simon's gonna, get the victory.
100% right. Maven knows what he is talking about. He's going to mention this in a minute anyway. But it's, once again, I want to choose my words carefully, because I would never go, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. That's not true. If people criticize you, especially in a constructive way, my gosh, you have to take this on. And just to triple down on the fact that he was right, it was nothing on Josh at all. Josh was awesome, but I personally wasn't happy with my performance in this match because I just was in not bad shape. That's too much. My gas tank wasn't very good. And your gas tank isn't very good in wrestling. You are going to be shown up so fast. What's the phrase? It's something like exhaustion makes cowards of us all. And if you don't know what that means, go to one professional wrestling match. But I'll talk about that in just 1 second because it does tie in.
Grabs him by the throat, lifts him up, and a choke slam from Bishop.
Like a chokeslam, not enough Adam B.
Simon's gassed at this point, meaning he is exhausted. I can tell because he's not moving. It's going to be a struggle for Simon to get through the finish of this match. Bishop's still moving and moving well, and he's still a general in the ring, controlling his environment. If I was him, I would definitely be taking it to the finish right now.
Bingo. Absolutely. He's 100% correct. I remember being in the match being like, oh my gosh, I am so blown. And once again, there are other things I can sit there and go, oh, it could be this or could be that. It doesn't matter. Because no matter what your environment, if you are going to fly halfway across the world and be in a wrestling match, you have to be good to go. Because again, you don't know what match is going to be put on the internet. You don't know who's going to be in the crowd. And also, I'll be honest, I remember it was a couple of matches before this. For whatever reason, my gas tank just wasn't where it had been. We'll call this the latter part of 2025, say the early part of 2025. That could be because my training wasn't spot on. I wasn't going to wrestling training enough. I wasn't, doing my work in the gym. And I'm always working out and stuff, but it's like anything in life. Sometimes you're more on it than you're not on it. And sometimes you need to kick up an ass and a waking call. And the cool thing about what Maven gave me there is after this match, I'd already had the thought of Simon, you need to get better. You need to get your cardio better. But then when you heard that from Maven, when I was in the midst of doing it, you're like, okay, awesome. Let's double down on this. So Maven, 100% completely right. And I do want to point out what a nice way for him. He could have been like, Simon, you big fat ass or whatever, but he didn't. He did it in a lovely, constructive way, which actually, he put this video out a month ago, I've got down here, and it really gave me a nice kick up the backside to continue on with what I was doing and not to get too distracted or anything like that. Because again, you have to have a good gas tank. You don't need to be Kurt Angle because that's sort of some alien creature of nature where he's born. But you do need to get into a point that when you get to the latter part of the matches, you're not sort of blowing and stuff, because otherwise it's going to affect the latter part of the match. And you can make the argument the finish is more important than the start. I mean, all the little beats matter. But of course, you want the crowd to be up, ironically, at the end of a match. And if you can't do that and give them energy, it's probably going to suffer.
Oh my God. Simon Miller just went down. Exit 187.
After the 1, 2, 3, he gives Simon a quick pat to the chest. I would think that was a thank you. Thank you for taking my moves and taking them well. Simon Miller's not a small man. So to take all those moves and to take them that's solid. You know, he made Bishop look like a monster.
So that's just an awesome thing to hear. And I do like to try and take people's moves well. It's nice to be called not a small man because we all have self-worth issues when it comes to physicality. And I probably shouldn't say stuff like this. Always tried to be careful. But again, I think if Maven's good to do it, we should be good to do it as well. Josh was a super cool guy, both before the match and after the match. It certainly sent me home, you know, thinking, man, wrestling can be so cool because I could repeat my phrase, fly halfway across the world and meet these awesome people and go out there and do our stuff. So I don't 100% know if that pat was for that or not, but I do know when we went backstage, we had a nice moment. So yes, that's probably my favorite thing about wrestling is that, I mean, hopefully I'll bump into him again and hopefully I'll be able to give him a better match next time. And you know, you should check him out if you haven't seen him already. Because he really did, when he pitched throwing me through the door, I was like, absolutely, I want to do that. That's my favorite kind of stuff. I don't know whether you saw, you can rewind. I tried to dead sell it. So like most people get thrown through and they kind of react. I thought, no, I'm going to set like I hit and I just died. And you can argue it was an interesting choice, but watching it back, it put a smile on my face. I thought it was a bit different. And I think that's always what you want to kind of do.
As for Simon Miller as a wrestler, he has a ways to go. Obviously, he's not just comfortable with his body yet in the ring, but he will get there. He's a big man with a unique look, so I hope he sticks with it. We already know he can do YouTube. Wrestling could be his next calling.
So that's just a great thing to hear. I think Maven is right too. Like, of course, you just want to continue to get the reps in and continue to get more experience in. And again, put yourselves in these kind of situations that you're not used to see how your body responds so that when you can get back to your home base, you go, okay, what do I have to do different next time? And there's loads that I would do. But again, Maven, awesome dude. To hear that is nice. We did have a quick chat after he made this video because I wanted to thank him. And of course, I'm going to keep this up. And as a cheap plug, I'm pretty much booked throughout 2026 in the United Kingdom. Hopefully going to get some USA bookings too. Just find me on social media and you will see all of my dates. Come on down. And I say this to everybody when they do come. You can send me as much feedback and as much criticism as possible. I like to think I've got a thick skin and I will listen to it and I will only try and get better. Some of it, of course, is nonsense. I mean, some people make up some horrendous lies and rumors about you as well, but I've long learned to ignore that stuff. But if there is genuine something in that I can use, that can only make me get better. And I also think if you are going to put yourselves in these situations, you're fair game for that kind of stuff. You can't pretend otherwise. So yes, just like Maven, keep on bringing it. I think it's a great way to try and get better is by listening to some fans, not all fans. You know what I'm talking about.
That said, I still have BDE as my number one, but I will slide Simon Miller into my number 2 slot.
Now, of course, make sure you check out all of Maven's channel and the rest of his videos as well. You saw there for a while I was in the number 2 spot. I did not enter the number 2 spot, but I was just happy to be included because the whole YouTuber turned wrestler thing has become a thing, as I can't talk sentences today, with obviously Logan Paul being at the top of the tree and obviously BDE and TNA doing a wonderful thing. I like to think I was the first guy to do it. That's probably not true, but we like to wear these magical crowns on our head if it makes us feel warm and fuzzy in our tum-tum. But everything Maven said was spot on, and it really has helped me over these last few weeks, especially going into a brand new year. Like, well, what do I need to do here? So I think I've had some cool things to work on, and I'm hoping when people do come and see my matches, they'll be like, oh wow, Simon's actually taking it on. And that Canada tour was in September, and then I had a match in November in progress against Charlie Sterling. Again, you can go to hookedonwrestling.tv to check that out. And I got some super nice feedback about that, and I really do think those two things were connected in terms of my mindset, in terms of how I looked. I had a massive tan that day, went out and got a super spray tan, and maybe that wouldn't have happened without Maven going out of his way to do that. So massive salute to Maven. Massive salute to Maven as well for absolutely taking over the YouTube space. I think it's super inspiring as well. And who knows? I don't know whether he is 100% retired, but maybe one day we can do Maven versus Simon Miller and he can whip my ass for real. And then when he's pinning me, he can get me a pat. I would like that a lot. Now, of course, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Leave me a comment down there. And again, if you've seen any of my matches, I really want to double down on this as well. There are some matches online I absolutely hate, and there are some matches online that I really, really like. But that ties into this video. You do not know what's going to get out there in the 2026 world, which is why even if you do a match in front of 100 people, maybe somebody is filming it. Maybe the promotion wants to try and increase their views. You always need to give 100%. And I always do that. Like, I never walk in and half-arse it ever because I think I care too much about my performance. But it doesn't mean mean that the negative parts of your game, negative is not the right word, but the areas that you need to improve don't sort of show out. And C4 is a massive promotion, and as awesome as it was working with Josh, and again, Josh is a super pro, I think you should check his out stuff as well. I could have done better, but that's good, because we can take that on. As long as you bring it into your next match, everything's going to be okay. So again, you can mention it down there. Also on social media, of course, I am at Simon316. Speaking about getting in shape, go to grillermind.com/Simon. Use code Simon, get 10% off. Best fitness supplements in the world, as I cannot speak. That's how I got my pre-workout one to Canada, because I got these awesome sachets, so you can throw them in your suitcase and no one has to worry about it because they're already sealed. Patreon.com/Simon316, where we do sit down and go through a lot of my matches. I think we've done the Charlie Sterling one as well, so you can check that out. Otherwise, of course, it's TikTok, it is Cameo, and it's Pro Wrestling Tees. Thank you once again for Maven. I'll make sure I put a link to his channel down there as well. Check it out. It's just really fun content, and that's what YouTube's meant to be. I'll see you soon.